Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I need to talk to you about a serious problem. And that's how Seiko is ruining my life. Financially, mostly. And the reason for that, I believe, is because they offer so many quality timepieces that transcends pretty much every price category you can think of when you're getting into buying watches. Now, a quick wristwatch check. I am actually wearing the Seiko Flightmaster in honor of this video. And near the end of this video too, I'm going to reveal to you what my latest Seiko purchase is. So actually maybe pause the video here, and I'd love to, if you can leave in the comments below what you think this watch is going to be, and bonus points if you can guess the model number as well. As a big hint, it happens to be one of their most iconic timepieces, and it's a more recent update to that with respect to the model number. So again, please leave that in the comments below, and you'll get that big reveal closer to the end of this video. So the inspiration for this video actually came about a couple weeks ago when I got to handle my Grail watch. And that Grail watch happens to be a Grand Seiko Snowflake, the SBGA 211. And this is the Grand Seiko Snowflake that came out in 2011 after Grand Seiko actually separated out from Seiko itself. So it actually only says Grand Seiko on the dial, and it doesn't have that redundant Seiko text below it. And I just think it looks amazing. Now, I actually almost pulled the trigger on buying this watch too. But before I did that, I did some self-reflection. And what it ended up boiling down to for me was it will continue to be a Grail watch for me for sure. But I think it's something I want to own later in my life after I become more established in my career and maybe settle down. So nevertheless though, I mean, this actually left a yearning for me to, purchase another Seiko, and that's the one I'm going to discuss near the end of this video. But before I do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about my journey, and I think it's the journey that most people go on when they start getting into Seiko as a brand. And you can see how after I discuss all of these pieces, the dollars tend to stack up pretty quickly. Most people will start off getting the Seiko 5 line of watches. And these are like around $100 or less. They come with a Seiko in-house movement, like the 7S caliber, I believe. And they're just really great everyday watches. I've owned a couple myself. But then after a while, I think most people will start to look towards more the mid-tier of Seiko's lineup. And that range is generally the Persage line for dress watches or the Prospex line for dive watches. And I tend to go the dive watch or the sports watch route. So I picked up a few Prospex divers from Seiko. And just so you know, the Prospex is professional specification. And with their divers, they're usually ISO certified, so they can actually say divers 200 meters on the dial. And the first Prospex watch I actually picked up was the Seiko Turtle. It's a great watch. It has a nice cushion case. They usually trend around $300 to $500, depending on which model of the Turtle you're picking up, because they've released some newer special editions that are increasing in price ever so slightly. And the second Prospex I purchased is the Seiko Samurai. And I recently reviewed the Seiko Samurai Save the Ocean. And again, those usually range between $300 to $500 depending where you're getting it and if you're getting it on a strap or a bracelet. And then another step up from that, and it's a watch I've previously owned, is the Seiko Sumo. And I'm not sure if it's a Japanese domestic watch or not, but it's essentially an upgrade from the Turtle or the Samurai because you're getting a better finishing on the case and the upgraded movement, which is running the 6R15 movement. Now for me personally too, I think the hidden gems of Seiko are the Japanese domestic only watches or JDM models. And there is an expression that goes that, Seiko tends to keep the best watches for themselves, which means they keep them in Japan and they don't really ship them, or they don't make them known, in North America. Now, with respect to JDM models, like my favorite is definitely the SARB lineup. That's just a perfect sports slash dress watch that you're getting. The finishing on that watch is amazing. And the SARB 035, which is the white dial version of that watch, is the one that saved me from actually purchasing the Grand Seiko Snowflake, because it's actually referred to as the baby Snowflake in many instances. And it has one feature that the Grand Seiko didn't actually have, and that's the watch had lume on the dial. Now, I know that sounds like kind of a dumb thing to consider, but for me, I'm very practical, and I just love having lume on my watches. So I think that's kind of what saved me from spending thousands and thousands of dollars that way. But in general, a lot of these JDM models have been discontinued recently, and the prices for even getting a SARB trends at over $500 now. And Seiko actually got me a couple times because I purchased the 035 first, and I was so impressed that I actually went out and I bought the SARB 033, which is the black dial version of that watch. So I actually doubled down getting the same watch twice. Granted, the dial colors are distinctly different. Okay, guys, so now you can probably see, just how the dollars start to add up when purchasing different versions of Seiko models, either domestic or JDM models. But now I'm going to reveal to you what my latest purchase is. So get ready, guys. Let's flip perspectives and let me show you what I'm talking about. You guys ready for this? Here we go. Boom. I got myself a mother effin' Marine Master. The Seiko Big Tuna. The SBBN 037. So, for those of you who don't know, this watch is the Marine Master, but it's nicknamed the Tuna because of this shrouded case design here. And this actually has a lot of history behind it. So as the story goes, in the 1970s, there was a saturation diver in Japan that wrote to Seiko, and he requested that they design a watch that can withstand all the pressure and potential damages that come with saturation diving at really low depths. Seiko actually spent years developing this watch. The first iteration, I believe, actually had an automatic movement, but even that had to be serviced at varying intervals. So they actually designed a high efficiency quartz movement that's still used to this day only within this watch line, and that's the 7C46, I believe. And the lume on this is just amazing. So this thing lights up at night, but it also comes alive during the day with this navy blue color. I love the bezel. It transitions to like a light turquoise under certain lighting conditions, but then it becomes deep and black almost when you're looking at it head on. Similar to the SBBN 031, which is the very, very, very popular all black version of this watch. So guys, I'm like really ecstatic to get this newer release from Seiko. I'm definitely going to spend some time with it, and you can expect to see a full review on this watch that comes out later on my channel. So I think you can probably see now why I have a lot of money invested in my Seikos. I really just enjoy the journey with these watches, but definitely it's easy to kind of go overboard. And who knows, the next big Seiko purchase I might make might be that Grand Seiko Snowflake, but I'm going to try and hold off for now. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video.